Thank you, Macquarie. First of all, let me thank the professor for giving us a good grounding on the basic mechanics and the type of media and the statistics in terms of reach or structure of media in Kenya. First of all, I just want, as a point of departure, to underline, I think, one fundamental fact, the fact that there is a reason why in the Constitution we talk about the freedom of the press. We do not guarantee the freedom of the press because the press is a profit-making institution. I think that's important for us to appreciate. But we also appreciate that the press must make money to exist. In fact, if one does take a few steps back into history and look at the American founding fathers talking about the question of press freedom, which seems to be the anchor, or rather the most well-elaborated question of the source of press freedom being locked into a constitution, what they were basically saying, and this is what we have carried into modern-day democracy, is the fact that the media, the press, has a responsibility of informing the public, giving them information to the extent that the public is meant to make rational decisions so that they are able to participate in this enterprise called a democracy, which, again, for me, and indeed for any student of politics and even practitioner, is really a work in progress, refining democracy, making it better and better like we've been doing in this country. And so to that extent, we then have the question of the media balancing that issue of making profit and at the same time being able to play its role effectively, being able to inform citizens. And this is why yesterday we saw a debate. The debate was there because the media basically had created a platform in collaboration with other partners, Kenya Daima, ICJ, and the rest, so that they would then provide a medium to inform Kenyans on what these candidates are saying. And it becomes powerful when we bring those candidates together. The question for me then becomes, how well are they doing that? The question also becomes, what is the motivation of the media? In fact, one of the greatest issues of our time, not only in this country, has been the question of ethics in media. We've seen scenarios where governments across the world have tried to control media. And the reason they try to control media is because they feel media is, they say, is overstepping their bounds. They are infringing into people's personal lives. They are being manipulated, and so government comes and says, we will control you. Media, on the other hand, comes and says, no, we are free. And they come and say, we want to self-regulate. For instance, in Kenya today, what we have is a regime of media self-regulating, to the extent that media are saying, yes, we agree that there are some standards, and yes, we agree that some of us overstepped the board, but they are saying, in the name of ensuring that you politicians don't come and take over that space that has been created by the Constitution, that guarantees freedom of the press, then we will self-regulate. On the question of whether media has helped us, become, or has helped the case of patriotism forward, one of the observations I would like to make as a starter is the fact that if you compare what happened the last general election and what has happened in this general election, I think media has upped its game. If you ask me, in the last general election, media was as culpable as the politicians who are being held to account for causing the chaos that was caused. They allowed people to incite. Today, media has given standards against which you can put or not put thereof your ads on the TV. They have actually regulated what comes out. And of course, I suppose they also don't have too much leeway, just like everybody else, because now there is cohesion, there is the National Integration and Cohesion Commission. There are all these laws that are regulating what everybody does. So I would say that they have generally done much better than they did last time. And of course, let us not forget that one of the persons at The Hague is Arap Sang. He is a media personality. He had the Mashinani radio, and he's being charged with being part of the system that basically incited, used the media to get Kenyans to kill each other. And for me, I keep saying, whereas I find, the way the ICC suspects were chosen in terms of numbers, when you go and say, give us 3 or 6 from this side and 6 from that side, I found that very interesting. But what was very interesting also is that they put a media person there. And in my mind, I think they were also sending a clear message to the media that you need to watch yourselves as an institution. So here, if you think about it critically, there are 2 institutions, 2 professions at the head: politicians and the media. 3 actually, and of course the civil servants who are supposed to do what they are supposed to do. And again, I'm excited by the fact that one very interesting thing emerged from The Hague, that if you're given a job and you don't do it, you're in trouble. And so that's why I'm saying I hope that the new Inspector General knows that he has to do a good job to maintain the peace, but that's a point in passing. So for me, the fact that that happened, and the fact that media also saw, because one of the things that I keep on saying, I keep on underlining, is the fact that media is you and me. Your brothers, your sisters, your fathers and mothers, they are Kenyans also. And sometimes they get as affected by what the politicians throw out as you and me get as affected. But of course we expect them to operate on some basis of ethics. And that drives me to the question of whether media has operated on a value basis. Many times, of course, we have seen, and sometimes, I'm sure, by the way, as all Kenyans, when you watch the media, you watch with an eye of which side is it leaning. And after a media presentation, you hear somebody saying, those are CORD supporters, those are Jubilee supporters, those are DIDA supporters. So there's always the question of the media or the journalists, the practitioners, being able to give Kenyans those stories without infusing their own likes or dislikes, without being part of the processes that are going on. And in my mind, there are about 7 things which I say, from a Mungwana perspective, we must ask whether media has done. And the first one is reaching for the truth. Has the media reached for the truth? Because that is very important. Searching for the truth. And many times I have felt that they have angled for the truth, but they have not pushed hard enough. They fall shy of pushing people to the wall. If you think about media, and again allow me to use the example of American media. If somebody, for instance, is charged with corruption, they push you to the wall. But if you think about even the debates we had, the last 2 debates, you find that at a certain point in time, yes, it begins, but somehow we hold back. Then there's the question of the need to avoid bias. As media practitioners, the media must avoid bias. And by the way, I want just to state that I'm talking about here conventional media. Like the professor said, there are very many medias and mediums that people use, to move issues. I'm talking about the conventional media, which I believe is what basically this discussion is about. Avoiding bias. And by avoiding bias, I'm talking about if I am a Kikuyu or a Luo or a Kamba, do I come with a view that tells me I must support my guy Mutuwe? And try and angle things in a manner that, yes, I look like I'm reporting, but I'm actually moving an agenda. It is known in this country, and I want anybody to challenge me that there are very many media practitioners in this country who basically either work for the politicians, consult with the politicians, essentially they are connected with them. How much does that affect what they do when they anchor? Then there's a question of avoiding harm. It is important that the media must avoid harming people. The way you report, after you reported on somebody, on an issue, or whether you're talking about a party or you're talking about a community, have you harmed that community? Because sometimes, by the way, there are some representations that seem to be pointing to communities or certain peoples doing certain things, and we keep reinforcing that. The media, another question which we must ask is, have we been serving the public? Has the media been serving the public? And to a large extent, I would say, yes, they have been serving the public, but we need to do much more. Then there is the question of maintaining trust. It is important for the media to maintain trust to the extent that when I see a certain media house, I'm not saying, that media house belongs to XYZ. And by the way, I think another question that we need to address possibly soon in this country and I don't know whether we are ready. Maybe we are 10 years out. I'm not sure. Is the question of media houses coming out strongly and saying we support so and so? Because many times I feel, at least this is my personal feeling, sometimes you will see some media houses are clearly leaning towards a certain side. Mr. Macharia, for instance, the owner of the Citizen, that media group, actually said, he declared that his vote was for court. Does that mean the media house is for court? And why I'm saying that is because when you go to America, Washington Post will clearly tell you, we are for the Republicans. Another newspaper will say we are for the Democrats. So that when you're reporting, we know clearly you are actually not doing somebody's bidding, but you are actually moving an agenda in terms of policies and everything that they stand for. And then there's a question which brings me now to the question of the need to escape manipulation. Has the media been escaping manipulation? Are they allowing themselves to be manipulated? For instance, if a certain candidate has a lot of money and we're a profit-making organization, are we able to hold him to account? Or are we saying we want his ads in our newspaper, so go slowly? Because we must make money. I mean, these are questions we must ask.